Hare Krishna, Jaya Jaya Shri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda, Jaya Advaita Chandra, Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda, Jaya Jaya Shri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda, Jaya Advaita Chandra, Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda, Jaya Jaya Shri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda, Jaya Advaita Chandra, Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. We continue reading from Caitanya Caritamrita Adi-Lila. We are on chapter 7. We are hearing the glories of the Panchatattva. Text 49. Iti Madhya Chandrasekhar Mishra Tapana Dukhi Hana Prabhupaya Kaila Nivedana. Translation by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. While Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was instructing Sanatana Goswami, both Chandrasekhar and Tapan Mishra became very unhappy. Therefore, they submitted an appeal unto the lotus feet of the Lord. So we heard last time that Sanatan Goswami, he came to Varanasi for 2 months. He got instructions from Lord Chaitanya, and he's staying at the house of Lord Chaitanya is staying at the house of Chandrasekhar. Kateka Shuniba Prabhu Tomar Nindana Na Pari Sahite Ebe Chadiba Jivana. How long can we tolerate the blasphemy by your critics against your conduct? We should give up our lives rather than hear such blasphemy. One of the most important instructions by Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu regarding regular Vaishnava behavior is that a Vaishnava should be tolerant like a tree and submissive like grass. Trinadapi sunichena taror iva sahisnuna amanena manadena kirtanyaha sada harihi. One should chant the holy name of the Lord in a humble state of mind, thinking oneself lower than the straw in the street. One should be more tolerant than a tree, devoid of all sense of false prestige, and ready to offer all respect to others. In such a state of mind, one can chant the holy name of the Lord constantly. So tolerance, Lord Chaitanya gave very great importance on this verse. This is the foundational verse, that how can we chant constantly in a humble state of mind? Only when we understand that we are not Krishna, we are dependent on Krishna. We can call out to Krishna, Krishna, please save me. So we need to chant in that humble state of mind, taking shelter of Krishna, thinking of ourselves lower than the straw in the street. And we need to be tolerant. We need to be tolerant. So does it mean that we let people walk all over us? No, this has nothing to do with letting people taking advantage of us or manipulating us. No, this is the internal mood. This is the internal mood. And we need to offer all respect to everyone, others, understanding that each and everyone is an eternal part and parcel of Krishna. Each and everyone is a beloved of Krishna. In such a state of mind, one can chant the holy name of the Lord constantly. Nevertheless, the author of these instructions, Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, did not tolerate the misbehavior of Jagai and Madhai. When they harmed Lord Nityananda Prabhu, he immediately became angry and wanted to kill them. And it was only by the mercy of Lord Nityananda Prabhu that they were saved. So Lord Chaitanya says, Trinadapi Sunichena. But when Jagai Madhai blasphemed Lord Nityananda, Lord Chaitanya was going to kill them. He removed his Sudarshan Chakra to kill them. But Lord Nityananda told him, my dear Lord, if you do that, how are you going to give mercy to everyone? Please, please forgive them. That's when Lord Chaitanya withdrew his anger. So one should be very meek and humble in his personal transactions, and if insulted, a Vaishnava should be tolerant and not angry. But if there's blasphemy against one's guru or another one Vaishnava, one should be as angry as fire. So the teaching is that for our personal, we should be tolerant and humble. But if someone is insulting a Vaishnava or one's spiritual master, then one should retaliate. This was exhibited by Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. One should not tolerate blasphemy against a Vaishnava, but should immediately take one of the three actions. If someone blasphemes a Vaishnava, one should stop him with arguments and higher reason. If one is not expert enough to do this, he should give up his life on the spot. And if he cannot do this, he must go away. So the easiest for us is to go away from that spot, leave that place, or leave the conversation, because we don't want, nobody wants us to give up our life. We may not be expert to argue with someone. We may not be having that kind of expertise. So the idea is we should stop the conversation, either if we are physically able to leave it, or if not physically, at least go away mentally, emotionally. While Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was in Benares or Kashi, the Mayavadi sannyasis blasphemed him in many ways, because although he was a sannyasi, he was indulging in chanting and dancing. Tapan Mishra and Chandrasekhar heard this criticism, and it was intolerable for them because they were great devotees of Lord Chaitanya. They could not stop it, however, and therefore they appealed to Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu because this blasphemy was so intolerable that they had decided to give up their lives. So Chandrasekhar and Tapan Mishra, they were living in Varanasi. Varanasi was full of Mayavadi sannyasis at that time. It was a hub of impersonalism. So, and they could not hear the criticism of Lord Chaitanya. Lord Chaitanya was being blasphemed. Why? Because he was always chanting and dancing. And so that's why he was being blasphemed by the Mayavadis. And so they said, well, we don't want to hear this, so we are going to give up our life now. We have no other resort. We are not able to stop them. So we want to give up our life. Tumare nindaye yata sannyasi ragana shunite na pari fate hridaya shravana. The Mayavadi sannyasis are all criticizing your holiness. We cannot tolerate hearing such criticism, for this blasphemy breaks our hearts. This is a manifestation of real love for Krishna and Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. There are three categories of Vaishnavas: Kanishta Adhikaris, Madhyam Adhikaris, and Uttam Adhikaris. The Kanishta Adhikari, or the devotee in the lowest stage of Vaishnav life, has formed faith, but is not familiar with the conclusions of the Shastras. So the beginner devotee is called Kanishta Adhikari. So he has faith, but he is not, because he is a beginner, he's not understood everything clearly as yet. The devotee in the second stage, the Madhyamadhikari, is completely aware of the Shastric conclusion and has firm faith in his Guru and the Lord. He, therefore, avoiding non-devotees, preaches to the innocent. So then a Madhyamadhikari, because he's been practicing for a longer time. So what has happened is that his faith is very strong. He has strong faith in his Guru and in the Supreme Lord. And he has also understood. He's understood the conclusion of the scriptures. And so what does he do? He does not want to argue with anyone. And rather, he focuses his energy on giving Krishna to the innocent. He does not want to unnecessarily engage his energy in arguments. So he wants to give Krishna consciousness to people who are willing to listen. So he's a preacher. He preaches. However, the Mahabhagavata or Uttamadhikari, the devotee in the highest stage of devotional life, does not see anyone as being against the Vaishnava principles, for he regards everyone as a Vaishnava but himself. So the highest Vaishnava, the Uttamadhikari, what does he see? He sees that everyone is acting as an instrument of God. Everyone is serving God. And he sees only himself as the lowest. He says, everyone is serving God, everyone is in their position, and I am the only one who is going against, I am the lowest. That is how Uttama Adhikari sees himself. So this is a stage which cannot be imitated. It can't be imitated. And we are all encouraged to come to the Madhyam platform. We are encouraged to come to the Madhyam platform to be able to preach to the innocent, preach to everyone about God, to the people who are really seeking, or they might not even know they're innocent. So this is the essence of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's instructions, that one be more tolerant than a tree and think oneself lower than the straw in the street. Trinadapi sunichena taror iva sahisnuna. However, even if a devotee is in the Uttama Bhagavad status, he must come down to the second status of life, Madhyam Adhikari, to be a preacher. For a preacher should not tolerate blasphemy against another Vaishnava. So we can see how Srila Prabhupada, he is a Uttam Adhikari, yet he came down to the Madhyam platform. Why? Preaching. If he didn't preach, where would we be? None of us would be here then. If he was not, if he did not translate the books, start this Krishna consciousness movement. Well, the Krishna consciousness movement was started by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, but if he did not make it so available to us. So although a Kanishta Adhikari also cannot tolerate such blasphemy, he's not competent to stop it by citing Shastric evidences. Therefore, Tapan Mishra and Chandrasekhar are understood to be Kanishta Adhikaris because they could not refute the arguments of the sannyasis in Benares. They appealed to Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to take action, for they felt that they could not tolerate such criticism, although they also could not stop it. So Chandrasekhar and Tapan Mishra, they felt that were not able to refute the arguments based on Shastra. So they didn't know what to do. So they were appealing to Lord Chaitanya. We can't hear what all this blasphemy against you. We don't want to hear it. And it's not right what these people are saying. So you please do something about it. Any questions or comments?
Both were great devotees of Lord, right? Tapan Mishra and Chandrasekhar. Like as they said that they were Madhyam Adhikari, they were doing preaching, is it?
Well, from here, from this, we are trying to understand that they are Kanishta Adhikari. Why? Because they are because they themselves were not able to refute it, but they were telling Lord Chaitanya to refute. But we should understand that they are actually great devotees, They are in the pastime with the Lord himself. So they are like, really, they are eternal, they are associates of the Lord. So in no way they can be Kanishta Adhikaris.
Okay,
like we are Kanishta Adhikaris because we are just
because
beginning.
of the characteristic, right? Because of the characteristic they are saying, but actually they are not, right?
That's right.
Okay.
They are not actually. They are associates of Lord Chaitanya. But just now, because why also this is a pastime, right?
Yeah.
Because how Lord Chaitanya is going to convert all of the Mayavadis into devotees now, So this is also like a pastime of the Lord being revealed. Yeah.
Okay.
So we'll stop here for today and we'll continue with it tomorrow.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah. So Caitanya Caritamrita ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Gaur Bhaktavinda ki jai, Hare Krishna. Thank you for listening.